Christians, my sister here asked a good question. She says, if nothing happens outside the will of God, why does God punish those who disobey his preceptive decrees? Well, the funny thing is, the scriptures, Paul knew and anticipated man asking this question. But here is Paul's answers directly from the scripture when this very question is asked. Romans 9, verse 18. It says this, therefore, God has mercy on whom he will have mercy, and on whom he will harden. You will say unto me, why does God find fault? Which is what you're asking right now. Why does God find fault if no one has resisted his will? Verse 20, Paul says, nay, but O man, who are you that replies against God? Shall the thing formed say to him that formed it, why have you made me this way? Does not the potter have power over the clay of some of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another vessel unto dishonor? What if God, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath that were fitted for destruction, and that he might make known the riches of his glory on the vessels of mercy, which he had afore prepared, in other words, beforehand, unto glory, even us, unto whom he has called, not of the Jews only, but also of the Gentiles. So the fact of the matter is, to put it in simple terms, although I would recommend reading Romans 9, 18 through 24, because he absolutely answers the exact question you're asking. But simply put, God has ordained all things that take place. God has made men moral agents, meaning that they are responsible for their actions. And somehow, and we don't know, that there is consistency between the preceptive decrees that God gives and his decorative will, and how his decorative will sees to put in place all things that take place. In other words, God orders all things that take place. And that God is not morally responsible for the actions of moral agents, even though he is the one that has ordered all things. Like we read in Proverbs 16, verse 9, where it says that man devises in his heart, but it is the Lord who directs his steps. Is this not what we're talking about? Think about it. Man devises his own way. In other words, he determines what he wants to do out of the whims of his own will. But no matter what he decides, no matter what men decide to do or exert themselves or exert their wills to do, no matter what it may be, ultimately, it is the Lord who directs their steps. Just try it out. Try it on for size. See if you can make sense of it. Hopefully you'll be provoked and persuaded.